Hey, welcome to the Bluejay Banter post-game show. We are live here at Let It Fly. The place is rocking after a huge win over Seton Hall. We're going to go right into player profile, and you all know him. You all love him. Mr. Stephen Ashworth. Great game, buddy.
Thank you.
Great game. We're going to kick it right off. To me, this was the number one thing I said all week long, and you did it. We have to run Mr. Dawes off that three-point line, and you did a great job of that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Your scouting report and our scouting report is pretty similar, I guess.
I felt you really frustrated him when he wasn't able to get that shot, and then he wasn't able to get any shots for a while. And then midway through the first half, he started just going in, maybe putting up some shots maybe he normally doesn't shoot. Yeah. And that's what we want people to do, right?
Absolutely. That's what you want your defense to be able to do is great players are going to make great plays at the end of the day, but at the same time, if you can force an offense to take shots that they're not used to taking, you're going to live with that. And then at the same time, that leads to long rebounds, which leads to transition, and the Jays love transition basketball. So
you kind of do, yeah.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
Yeah. The other thing I thought tonight, and it wasn't consistent, I think you'd agree with me on that, but there were times that ball was, I think it was the second half. I think all five guys touched the ball, a couple of them twice, and you got a wide open look. I think it was for Baylor in the corner.
I remember that play.
That ball whipped, and Mac just was like pumping his fist like, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I think I dribbled it down, swung it to Trey into a ball screen, kicked it to Jason or Mason to Calk back to Trey, and then Trey shot faked, the guy flew by, he kicked it to me, and I was open, but Baylor's guy ran to me, and I saw it. And I knew Baylor was wide open in the corner. And Mac was excited when Trey passed it to me. He's like, yes. And then he screamed even more when I passed it to Baylor. And it was just electric. Baylor cashed it, and he was on fire all night, so it was super fun.
I was saying to somebody, I go, we probably passed up 3 really good shots there.
Yeah. Yeah, good to great. Good to great.
Yeah. What a game. I love the presence that we didn't, force it into Calk, but we sure got it in there when we needed to.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that we did a very good job of recognizing when in transition or in the natural flow of our offense we had opportunities, and I think we're also getting better at seeing that when that corner guy is helping off the bottom side and we can't lob it over the top to Calk, flashing to that high post. Like you saw Baylor do it in the second half specifically. I had it on the wing. Baylor flashed to the top. I hit Baylor, and Baylor just lobbed it up to Calk. And those are the plays that are really hard to guard because that guy sitting on the bottom baseline has to react to a shooter running with Baylor. And so just get the dominoes falling, and Calk did a great job all night long of finishing those down low and then just being a presence on both sides of the ball.
Like we were talking off air, Richmond is a difficult guy because a lot of teams don't have a 6'6", quote-unquote point guard out there, right?
Yeah.
And he can do a lot of different things. And I think we forced him on the defensive end to get into some difficult positions. He got in some foul trouble, and then the floodgates kind of opened.
Yeah, and no doubt it's tough, but when you got a guy like Trey Alexander on the defensive end, it makes it easier. And I think that honestly we don't talk about Creighton defense that often. I feel like because of how well we play offensively at times, but the versatility of our defense is that. I think when you've got guys like Trey that can guard multiple positions, Baylor can guard multiple positions, and then you've got the 2-time defensive player of the year in the back.
Yeah.
It makes it tough on teams. So I think we did a really good job tonight of just being connected on that end of the ball.
Okay, so you should have been here 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We never talked about defense at all. And then I think it was kind of like Tyshawn and, well, I'm not going to say Mitch because
Mitch. Shout out Mitch.
Was struggling on defense, okay? But sometimes like Mitch and I were just talking in practice the other day, he got put in some positions where because of the roster and the way it was designed, he had to play the 4 sometimes. And he's going to get 6'9" athletic guys, and it's really tough, right? But that group was the one who started pushing the defense, and it's just grown since then to now. You can say we don't talk about it, but like tonight, I think, sure, we were efficient on the offensive end, but defense is what won us this game. I looked up at the board, and I think they had, what was I said to somebody? They had 11 points with 13 minutes gone. Yeah, I think
that's
that was
probably right.
Yeah, and that was a defensive end. We made them really shoot difficult shots.
Absolutely, yeah, and we kind of mentioned that to start it off, forcing them to shoot shots that they don't normally shoot in their offense.
Yeah.
Gets them out of rhythm a little bit.
Yeah. What else do you think was working for you tonight, especially on the offensive end?
On the offensive end, I thought that we just really read the defense super well. We got into a lot of double ball screens, which we didn't at St. John's, and that's a really tough guard for us, whether it's in the middle doing some Spain pick and roll where the guard sets the screen for Colt gets a free run, and then the guard sets another back screen so Colt can get the lob. Like, we ran that 2 or 3 times, and Trey just had absolute dimes that he put right at the rim, and Colt was able to dunk it. And so those are some actions that I thought were really good in the offense end. And then just the flow of knowing when to cut and always keep them moving and keep them in different positions was able to just get our pick and roll, our motion offense was humming. And so it was a lot of fun.
One of the biggest plays of the night is Jason Green ripping that rebound when it was really their ball, ripped it away, and then there you were. And like I've told everybody all year long, I can always tell when I see that ball go end over end with the rotation perfect, I go, it's going in. It's not even at speed yet. That's going in.
It's going in.
Yeah. And that brought the roof down. They had to call timeout. That was a huge sequence there with Jason getting that rebound.
No, it was for sure. And Jason's so good at that of recognizing when he can go and get us an extra possession. And then also at that same time, he's done a really good job of knowing when it's time for him to go and put that right back up where nobody's around him.
Yeah.
Or like that, he snatched it out of the guy's hand so the guy's in front of him and he looked for a kick out. And I was the lucky recipient to that one. And yeah, it felt good. And the place was going crazy.
Yeah.
So shout out to the CHI for sure.
And, it was like a little bit of a late arriving crowd because the weird thing is you would think an 8 o'clock tip time would be a late arriving crowd, but what happens is people go home after work instead of coming right down here. So then they go home and they're like, oh, geez, I got to go.
Yeah, we got to get to the game.
Yeah. The other thing, too, this was a big game because obviously you got the huge game Saturday coming up with Marquette.
Uh-huh.
You just came off a tough loss. You're playing a team, it was triple overtime, okay, so it wasn't like a cakewalk by any means.
Absolutely.
But there you were tied with this team. This was huge because now you have the double win over them. Was that talked about at all?
Not necessarily. We knew that it was going to be a really big game for us, and we also, coming off a loss, you as a player understand, all right, we just lost. We got a really tough game against Seton Hall. Got another really tough game against Marquette coming into town. And then we get a little break, and we're going on the road to a Villanova team who's playing really, really well. And so you can put that pressure on yourself, but this team's so mature and so ready to just next play, next possession, next game, focus on the now, stay in the present. And so I think that's what we tried to do all week long, preparing for Seton Hall, and we're able to go out and execute that tonight. But at the same time, there is kind of that pressure in the back of your mind. So I think we were locked in a little bit more, and it was fun to see.
Sure. And now it all sets it up for Saturday, right?
Yeah, yep, the table's set. The crowd should be lit. It's afternoon tip-off and
sold out
prime
crowd.
time. Yeah, senior night for some of the fellas.
Whoever doesn't come back.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Baylor came back even after having a senior night, so don't read too much into it, Jays fans.
Was that a tell?
I don't know.
Play poker, was that a tell right there? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Well,
I don't have a great poker face.
I already know your answer, so I don't even need to tell. Like huge game because then, not to get way ahead of ourselves, but you win Marquette. Marquette's got to play UConn. They lose to UConn. Now we're 2 seed.
Yeah.
And that is golden this year. I think it's golden this year because if you're you're still going to get a bye, but 3 seed, you're going to play the best team that didn't have a bye.
Yeah.
And that's whoever that is, it's still the best team who didn't have a bye. Probably St. John's in their place again,
Yeah.
So I think a 2 seed is so important if you can get to that.
Yeah. I remember in the Mountain West tournament, it was very similar with the seeding. I want to say it was the same 11 teams, same setup. And another big thing about just getting as high a seed as you can is what time you tip off. Because I remember we were the 2 seed in the Mountain West tournament, and because of TV, right, the TV pays the bills. So whenever you can be on air, you have to be on air. And some of those were like 9 p.m. tips, and then you got to go at 1:30 the next morning, or afternoon, sorry. And those are tough turnarounds. But if you're a higher seed, then you're playing at like 4, right?
Big East's a little more stretched out where
I mean,
the 2 plays, I think the 6 o'clock game Eastern time, and then you flip around, you play the next night again. So at least you have a little bit of time. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
That used to be in the Valley. When we played in the Valley, there was a lot of flip arounds, because they're the TV. You played Friday, then Saturday because of TV. It was afternoon games. Yeah, like you said. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the Mountain West was always crazy too because for years, I don't care where UNLV finished, they'd win the tournament because it was all played in Thomas and Mack. And it was like, I was always like, wow, this just seems unfair to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hear though that the committee is calling those home games.
Yeah.
So okay.
Now, is the Mountain West still at Thomas and Mack, or do you play somewhere else? No, it's still in Thomas and Mack.
There.
Now, that could be, we played UNLV. That
could
be a dangerous team in that Mountain West tournament, even though there's 6 really good teams. They'll be 7th.
I think they might be 5 right now.
Yeah, well,
with
the way,
Colorado
the,
State
with the,
just
way the
lost.
standings are, yeah. But I mean, when you think of the NCAA teams, are 6.
Okay,
But
yes.
But I know what you're saying. That they could, win a 4 or 5 game and then beat the number 1, right?
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yep. Which might be the Aggies. They might be the number 1. We'll see. Still some games left to play, but
yeah. So we were talking off air about the Aggies.
Yeah.
What have you seen from them this year?
I mean, really great team basketball. To be honest, to put a team together with 3 players coming back, and only 2 of them were red shirts. One of them, I think he only recorded a rebound, so no points, no assists, nothing coming back. And to be able to put a team like that together, and the transfer portal makes it easier with NIL and things than probably in years past, but still, a lot of credit to Danny Sprinkle and what he's done with that program, because I don't think any program has had a turnaround like that and has still been as good as they are this year. So it's been really impressive. And shout out to my boys, Mason Falsa, Isaac, we call him Fish, and then Landon Brenchley. Those are my 3 guys that stayed.
Plus, they're missing a pretty good guard from last year, too.
Yeah, there is a pretty good guard that's now a Creighton Bluejay, and couldn't be happier to be a Creighton Bluejay. So.
How pumped are you for, the Big East tournament?
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, we got a little taste of New York City.
Sure.
And a little sour taste in our mouths for sure. So we're looking forward to it, to be able to go out there and just the iconic. I grew up watching the Big East tournament. I vividly remember a night sitting on the edge of my parents' bed, watching that UConn-Syracuse game.
Went to 7.
That went into 6 or 7 overtimes, and it was insane, and I just couldn't believe it. And I remember one guy that was laying on the bench dead because everybody had fouled out, and it was crazy. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And then the Kemba Walker step back in the Garden. There's a lot of Big East moments that I grew up watching, and so to be able to be in that tournament myself, I never really thought it was possible because I never really thought this would happen. So really just grateful to God for the opportunities like this, and I can't wait to go back there in a few weeks.
The funny thing about that game is I remember my wife's like, do we need to watch basketball all night long? I said, okay, yeah.
Last game.
It was like the first overtime or second overtime. Flip go. I think we watched darn near a whole an hour TV show, and I'm like, okay, well I just want to check to see
who won.
Sports Center's on right now, right?
Yeah.
And they're in the 5th overtime. I'm like, wow, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Same thing. Tied still.
Crazy. So what's Saturday gonna be like for you?
It's a good question. What are we? How many people we got on here right now? Saturday's going to be awesome. Just taking in all the moments, recognizing that whether I come back or not and use that extra year of eligibility, it'll be one of the last times I play with some of my teammates in the CHI.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
And Baylor's obviously done,
Yep. So this is my last one with number 55, and man, what a legend he's been to play with this year.
Hit the 1,000-point mark here at Creighton.
Yeah, right. And so it's every night I feel like he's breaking another record, and so that's definitely something that I've just loved being a part of this year, is being a part of the greatness that him and Trey, all the guys, honestly, that they bring to the Creighton program. And so really just hoping to end the season the way that we hope to, and there's a lot of preparation that's going to go into it the next 2 days. And so
I want to point, somebody just mentioned Troutson. Here's a guy who didn't get a minute's worth of play the last 2 games. This is what it's all about. He was ready to go. He gets out there tonight and plays off the charts.
Yeah, my guy IT.
I mean, that's what you need in a team, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, I actually talked to Isaac the other day. We carpool together to the airport on our travel days. So we were talking, and, you know, I just asked, how you doing? Because I remember my freshman year, something very similar I was going through in conference play. The rotations get a little tighter. The games are tough. And I went from playing 20 minutes a game, basically splitting the starting point guard role, to like 4 minutes did not play, 8 minutes did not play, right? And it can mess with your mind, and IT has had just a great mindset about it all the way through. And, you know, these last few games is a message to all the young players out there that are wanting their chance. Like, stay ready.
Absolutely.
Keep putting in the work.
Jason Green is another perfect example.
Jason Green. And, like, if you come to the practice center early in the morning, first guy in there has been Isaac Trout the past 4 weeks. And so it shows, and he was ready to knock down big shots tonight. And I think that was just another thing in the first half that kept our momentum going, was when IT can pick and pop and hit big shots like that, it's a really hard offense to guard. And so I was super happy for him, and hopefully there's just more to come from that, and he's going to continue to stay ready.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, he just did a terrific job tonight. I got to ask you before we let you go.
Yep.
So the last time you were here, we talked about the card trick. So has Fred figured it out yet?
No, I actually got one or two new ones for Fred too. And funny enough, 2 days ago, I texted him in the morning, and I said, "What's your favorite card?" And he's like, "The 10 of spades." I said, "Okay, bet." And so I showed him this new trick. It's a way to like shuffle the cards, and then you count off a certain number of cards. You ask him, give me a number 1 through 10, whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Okay, you said 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th card's gonna be 10 of spades." Boom. He's like, "What are you doing?" And so, yeah, it's been fun. I'm trying to learn a few more. It's just been a fun little game like that we do on the plane rides or things like that to pass some time. But Fred was saying he's gonna start watching some YouTube videos, so I'll let you know. I'll let you know next time I'm on if he picks anything up.
He's gonna be on to you.
I know. I'm like, just don't watch the same tricks I'm doing.
I think we talked to Jason, and he was like, "Yeah, I get about half of them."
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Jason's behind me and like right to my side, while Fred's across. So you know how magic is. It's all about depth perception and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, to Jason, you know, don't tell him what I do with this card under the tables or whatever.
How's the wife?
She's doing great. Yeah, we're loving Omaha. Our congregation for church has been so welcoming to us, and so supportive, and so it's really like a second family. And then to have the coaching staff that we have, and then also a mature team who has girlfriends or fiancés and all of that, just it feels very normal and natural. And so if there's any Bluejay fans that need some bouquets, she makes flowers and does flower arrangements from home. So Forget Me Not Floral on Instagram. I'll say it one more time. Forget Me Not Floral. So that's the name of a flower, by the way.
My wife just had a birthday, but I better write it down for next year.
That's right. That's right. The birthday comes annually, right?
Mr. Ashworth.
Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure. Congratulations. Great job tonight on Dawes.
Thank you, guys.
And let's get them Saturday. Big game.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, buddy. And that's Stephen Ashworth, and that's sponsored by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. They're the Bank of Bluejay Banter. Check them out. 2 great locations, Pierce Street location and also just north of the Schwab headquarters. The Pierce Street location, beautiful new upscale bank. When you walk in there, you're just going to be blown away by the bank. So check them out. That's Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. They take the headache away from banking, and they are the Bank of Bluejay Banter. And they do answer the phone in the first ring. And we're going to segue right into Coach's Corner. We have the one and only Mr. Ryan Miller.
Appreciate it.
You were worried the other night about, oh, God, I don't want to come on the show if we lose. Look at that. Look at that. Nothing to worry about, man.
I have my lucky DK bobblehead.
Oh,
Coach
wait.
Kellogg.
What?
So
oh,
I brought it with me. So
where can I get one of those?
Oh, they sell for eBay for like a nickel.
$1,000.
Nickel.
But see, I would have to have mine autographed.
No question. You better get a Coach Kellogg autograph.
As official greeter at Let It Fly.
No question. Exactly right. Exactly.
That is awesome,
That's awesome,
man.
isn't it?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's a heck of a basketball coach. We're lucky to have him.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at it. It looks just like him.
Yes. Nice
Except
little,
we don't-
nice New York style slick back.
Yeah, we don't see him in the suit anymore. That's the problem. Great job. I was telling Ash, one of the keys of the game was getting Dawes off that three-point line. Ash just did a great job.
Yes, whenever we got a shooter like Dawes, or we're playing a kid at UConn, Cam Thomas or whatever his name is, he just does a fantastic job of chasing those guys, keeping them off the three-point line, making be downhill drivers, and he's been an unbelievable leader for the team, especially coming in as a transfer and just fitting right in with the team.
Yeah, great job by him. Boy, we were talking about, he was saying he goes to the airport with Isaac.
Yep.
And he was talking, Stephen went through something similar when he was a freshman at Utah State. He was playing 20 minutes a game and 8 minutes, and all of a sudden didn't play. 4 minutes, didn't play. Yep. And he was just, talking, how are you doing? And he goes, man, Isaac's the first guy in the gym, working hard. And I think as fans, we sometimes forget, we look at the guy because he looks like he's 25.
Yep.
He's a freshman
No
still,
question.
man. He's still a freshman.
No question.
And a credit to him, he was ready to play.
Exactly
Tonight
right.
he got out there and just did a terrific job.
Well, that's a challenge for some of those guys that aren't in the rotation is eventually your number's going to get called, right?
Right.
Whether it's Isaac Trout, Jason Green against UConn, your number's going to get called. Are you going to be ready, and are you going to be able to help the team to victory, which is both Isaac did it this tonight, and then Jason Green did it a week ago against UConn. So being ready is a huge part, and being, engaged in the team when you're not in the rotation, which those two kids have done an unbelievable job, and then they've been able to perform when they get their number called.
Yeah, and it was great. He played so well. We got Kalk a nice long break tonight, so he's able to go out there refreshed.
And Isaac does something really, really well. I mean, he's one of the best shooters probably on the team, and one of the best shooters maybe in the country. When he's open, it's 3 points. So we have to find a better, as coaches, we have to find a better way to utilize him. As a player, he just got to continue to be ready because his number's going to be called, and he'll have another big game probably, hopefully down the stretch for us.
What was your plan against Richmond tonight?
He's a tough shot maker. He's a mid-range two-player.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for us was make everything difficult on him. Trey Alexander started on him, did a fantastic job. Make everything hard on him, make him get in the mid-range where he's pretty good, but also can test all those mid-range. But what he's really good at is missing those, chucking and chasing and getting the second shot. So, we were drilling and prepping all week. Come in, mid-range shot, contest, box them out, go get the rebounds. Because what they're really good at, they're really good at when the game's mucked up a little bit and they're able to crash the glass and get offensive rebounds. So our guys did a really good job of keeping them off the glass. And for the most part, they're the number 2 team in the league in Creighton steals, and we didn't have a lot of turnovers early in the game. A couple of turnovers late game when the game was kind of out of hand. But earlier in the game, we had good ball security, which allowed us to get shots on goal. And if we get shots on goal, we have a good chance of making them.
Yeah, and frankly, that's been a part of our problem at times this year is those guys will go in and shoot those shots and we haven't boxed them out.
Exactly
right. I remember Newton getting a couple of those and just laying them right back in,
No, we got to stay relentless. Like we talk about all the time. I mean, the play's not over when you contest a shot. We got to go get the ball. We got to secure the ball. And then once we can secure the ball, we can get on transition, and that's when we're really good.
I was going to talk with Steven about that. We didn't get a chance, but I thought like the weak side defense coming back in the flow when they were going to I thought we did a great job of that, disrupting them. We had so many deflections in there and getting loose balls. That was a key to them getting. I think they had 11 points in the first 13 minutes.
Yeah. Well, our defense they were ready to go from the get-go. Our guys were, and we got some stops, and we were able to get out and run. If we can get stops, secure the rebounds, and we can get out and run offense and get in the flow, like open court flow, we're pretty dang good.
Yeah. So that's step 1. Step 2 is Saturday, right? Now we got Marquette. We got them coming in here. They looked like $1 million tonight, man.
Well, they're a pretty good ball
club. They just blew
club.
Providence. They were up 27-4 to start the game.
Well, they're a pretty good ball club, Tim. I mean, they beat us 3 times in a row now. After my first year coaching with Coach Mack's team 2 years ago, we swept them 3 times, beat them 2 in the league, and then we beat them in the conference tournament. Since then, they beat us 3 times in a row. So hopefully this is kind of the rubber match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since Shaka's been in the league, so this is game 7. So hopefully we come out and for senior night, and they're a good team. They're gonna create They try to create turnovers. They try to make you play fast, and then play indecisive. And then all of a sudden they get the turnovers and they get an open court, and they're very good when they create turnovers. We got ball security is a must on Saturday, and then we got to keep them off the offensive glass. They crush us on the offensive glass at Marquette. We got to keep them off the offensive glass. Limit to one shot per trip down the court.
Yeah, tonight they got a lot of deflections and passes on the
they do.
wings and in the lane. They got a lot of deflections. And
That's what they do. I think the number one turnover. They have the number one defensive turnover rate in the league. They're very good at creating turnovers. We can't have passes on the move. We got to get down there, set our feet, pass fake, ball fake, manipulate them with our offensive game plan.
Tyler says, what will it take for fans to have a no-sit Saturday? You'd probably like to see that,
No
wouldn't you?
question. No question. I mean, I'd love to see a no-sit Saturday where we just give them 40 minutes of hell, man. Let's go. Everybody's just
like
flying
the
around.
UConn game.
The fans are flying around. The players are flying around. Everybody's flying around. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A great question, Brendan. Why did Coach Miller decide to join the CU staff from TCU?
Well, originally from Mitchell, South Dakota. My
Sure.
parents moved to Sioux Falls. I have a brother and sister in Sioux Falls. And Mason Miller, who I was coaching at TCU, decided to come to Creighton. And they had some staff change here. And I've known Coach Alan Huss, who just won a regular season championship, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's freaking unbelievable. First-year coach down at High Point won their regular season championship tonight.
Missing 3 guys. He'll tell you that right off the get-go, even though those guys have been missing since day one.
Exactly. He'll tell you. Exactly. So Coach Huss I've known forever. When he was a La Lumiere coach, I recruited his players when I was in New Mexico. One kid I signed was a kid named Darrington Hobson, and ended up being the Mount West Conference Player of the Year. Actually, I know him farther than La Lumiere, but Decatur Christian. So I've known Coach Alan Huss for a long time. He told me their staff movement, and I was as associate coach at TCU working for Jamie Dixon. We took over a program at TCU that was 0-16 in the Big 12 before we got there. Immediately turned around. He coached great players like Desmond Bain, who's now playing for the Memphis Grizzlies, one of the best players. And, it was a tough decision. TCU is awesome. Fort Worth, Texas is awesome. Love living there. But, family being here, the Coach Mac's leadership style was a big draw for me. And the way he thinks the game, his philosophy, both offense, defensively, was a big draw. And then I know Mac from a long time ago. He coached at Wayne State, Nebraska, when I was a Division II player at Northern State. So I played against his teams when I played at Northern State University. So I always respected his coaching style because he took over a program at Wayne State. They were pitiful, and they were very competitive once he took over the reins there. So Coach Mac, great coach, great leadership, family relationships here. And then Omaha, Nebraska is a great basketball community, and we have 18,000 fans every game. So it's awesome.
Yeah. I went to Morgan State. I remember every time I played Northern State, I'd be like, oh, God.
Yeah,
It's just going to be like going to the dentist right here.
We had some good teams.
What do you got to do against Marquette?
Kind of hit on it earlier. A couple things offensively. We just got to take care of the basketball.
How do you stop Kolek? I mean, or at least contain him.
Yeah, we got to contain Kolek. First off, let's talk about offense. Offensively, if we cannot turn the ball over, we'll have a lot of success scoring against them. But they will speed you up. They will create you in situations where you think you have open passing lanes and you don't. They deflect a lot of balls. They poke at a lot of balls. They create a lot of their offense from their defense. So we got to limit those mistakes. And then defensively, we got to Kalk and Trey and Steven Ashworth and Baylor and whoever we got Kolek, and we'll come with a game plan in the next couple of days. But we got to really do a good job of playing their two-man game with Iguodaro and Kolek.
Yeah.
So they play that two-man game. They're two of the best players in our league. We got to contain them. We got to not overcommit to them to let the shooters like Joplin and Cam get off. So it's a tough challenge, man. They're a great basketball team, and Cam's been scoring 30 points a game lately, and Kolek just controls the basketball game from start to finish. So we're going to do some things to disrupt them a little bit. But if we can limit to one shot per goal, per time down, and if we don't turn the ball over, we'll have some success.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you,
Great job tonight,
it.
man.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Great job. And that's Coach Miller, and his segment sponsored by Care Miners Home Health Care. They're our title sponsor, and they do a great job for us, and terrific job. If you need care for an ill or injured loved one, reach out to Care Miners Home Health Care. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience. You receive versatile, flexible, and customized care, and it'll give you great peace of mind and comfort and well-being. So give them a call, 402-532-1383, or better yet, go to careminersnebraska.com. See everything they have to offer, because, you don't know when this time's going to come for your senior loved one. And so at least you'll be ready. And if you have any other questions, give them a call. Like I said, 402-532-1383. I want to thank Jim and the whole staff over there, Care Miners, for supporting us all season long. and their continued support, by the way, through our post-game, or postseason coverage, which we will be live here in a couple weeks at Madison Square Garden. Mac and I will be there giving you tremendous coverage of the Big East tournament all week long. So make sure right here on this YouTube channel, check in every day. We'll have all kinds of content for you. All right, that was Coach's Corner. Well, let's get to some of these chats. Great all-around game, Martin says. Love seeing Trout get points above all because he may be needed in March along with Green. Finally, when does the placard go up for the Dan Hurley Memorial Tunnel? They extended, for those people that weren't there, they extended the tunnel, the covering of the tunnel out further. To me, it was better. If you're an opposing coach that doesn't want to walk next to the student section, it was better the way it was. Now it like directs you over to the student section. So the whole thing is bizarre to me. Brandon says, looks like Blue Crew got suspended. Indefinitely great to see. A lot of people like that. It's a mixed blessing. We already talked about Tyler with the no-sit Saturday. I mean, it's going to be a packed house. I envision it being a very similar atmosphere as a UConn game. It's going to be crazy. Totally packed house. It's been sold out forever. Coach Miller just described the struggles we've had against Marquette lately. So it's going to be a huge game for us. And as we mentioned, if we win that game and then Marquette plays UConn the very next game, if they lose, all we got to do is beat Villanova the season ender, and we will be the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. So, and I think that's big. Bo, thank you very much, says these post-game interviews are absolutely great. Thank you, Bo. Rob says, really like the way Kalk played tonight. Need him big time on Saturday. Couldn't agree more. Iguodala's a little tougher matchup for him. We have a big advantage with Seton Hall. It's one of the reasons I've never understood how that team has stayed where they are in the league, because they don't have much inside presence. I mean, Richmond is very good for them, and he was injured part of the year. But I think tonight we showed if you can just run Dawes off three-point line, kind of contain Richmond, they don't have a lot inside, and you can make some hay in there, and that's what we did. But yes, Kalk's going to have to play big time. He's going to have a difficult time on, especially when Kolek starts getting downhill. Does he come out? Does he stay back to Iguodala? Because they like to do that lob to Iguodala a lot. So that is going to be big. Jake says Jason Green was a beast on defense tonight. Offensive struggles be damned. He's a spark. Damian Jefferson 2.0. That's interesting. Damian had a little more offensive game, a little more outside shooting, and was able to drive the hole a little more effective. But yeah, Jason gives us a great spark. We've gotten really good sparks, and actually tonight we saw Farabella maybe not get the minutes he has been getting, but that's good because we're able to rest these guys. They played their whole bench, so they got plenty of rest too. But they're going on the road, right? Big difference. And I like the way the schedule ended for us. 2 home games and then a week off and then a road game. So we got a nice little stretch here. We can get rested up. But a big game Saturday. Worst call of the night, sponsored by Godfather's Pizza. Pizza pie piled high. Great toppings. Fresh mozzarella. All the toppings you can order. Check them out today. Go to Godfather's, one of the many area locations, or go to godfathers.com. Order pizza today. They have everything to feed your whole family, including wings, cheese sticks, desserts, and more. Check them out, godfathers.com. Worst call of the night. Someone that was sitting next to said, this should be your worst call of the night. So there were several of them, but I'm going to go with this one. Kind of a different kind of worst call of the night. A player fell down. There was a foul, and he fell down. Then Creighton fouled him, and he went down. It was Dawes. That's right. It was Dawes. Went down, and it was Farabello, I believe. It could be corrected, but I think it was Farabello. Reaches out, said, I'll help you up. He wouldn't take Farabello's hand. He just sat there and waited till a teammate come over and then grabbed his hand. I'm like, come on, dude. He's trying to help you up. I don't get that. I don't get that. I hear a lot of people say, boy, I really like Shaheen Holloway. I really like him. I don't know, he bugs me. There's something about him I don't like. He seems to get a little bit whiny when he loses. I don't know. But anyway, I guess most coaches do, especially Mr. Hurley, right? But yeah, there was another call I thought was terrible. I thought the call on Jason Green, when I thought he just tipped it out and he got a foul on that one, which is a play that they've let go. Now again tonight, and I'm okay with this, and Creighton's okay with this, I thought they went back to calling a game normally. Like most of the season, it's been a football game out there. Then we went a couple games, and then St. John's game, they went back to having a football game again. Tonight, I thought it was called normally, so I think they're trending that way, which is maybe what we want to see in the Big East tournament. But anyway, that was it. Unsung hero tonight, no question, it was Isaac Trout. Came off the bench, spelled Kalk, and just knocked down a couple threes. Held his own defensively in the inside, too. I thought he did a great job. And Mac, you could tell Mac was really happy with the way Isaac played. So that's the unsung hero. Again, sponsored by Careminders. Opponent preview sponsored by Equitable Bank. We've already talked about Marquette, 1:30 Saturday, big box, national TV audience. It's going to be rocking senior day. You saw the guy sitting here saying, well, it's senior day, but don't believe in everything you see out there. I think that should have been your tell there. Obviously, Baylor is done, and we need to honor him. Trey, who knows what's going to happen. Kalk, who knows what's going to happen. So let's stick around after the game and honor these great seniors no matter the outcome of that game, and hopefully it's a big win for us. As I said, we've set it all up. Just want to mention right now, too, there will be no YouTube post-game show Saturday. Reason why? Starting Friday in this very room is the Mock Selection Committee 2024. If any of you guys are familiar with this is the year 3. This year, we're all coming into Omaha. So some of the best bracketologists in the country, including myself. I've got bracketologists from all over the country. They're flying into Omaha. They're going to stay here for 2 days. We're going to kick it off at 2 p.m. Friday, go all day Friday into Friday night. Saturday, we're going to have a brief morning session. Then I'm going to take the guys to the game because I think they'll really enjoy going to the CHI and seeing a high-level college basketball game. We'll come back here about 4:30, kick it off here, and go into the night as well. And then Sunday, wrap it up with the bracketing and then showing you the completed bracket. Our social media team's going to tweet out like, okay, we're talking about North Carolina at this time. We're talking about Colorado State an hour into session 2 or session 3 or whatever it is. So people all across the country, and no matter what team you root for, you'll be able to kind of tune in and go on the recording as well if you miss the live action and see what we say about your team, where we place your team, and so on and so forth. So we ask you to check it out. Go to 2024 Mock Selection Committee. We have our own YouTube channel. We'll be live. You're going to love everything. We got all kinds of cool things. Every night we're going to have a happy hour on Friday, Saturday night about 9 o'clock-ish where we bring in a few libations for the group. And one of our buddies, Kerry Miller, is going to be on the panel. Just loves the Guinness, so we're going to bring him a Guinness, and then we're going to dive in. We're going to spend about 10 minutes at that time diving into some interesting topics around college basketball. One being how people are kind of working the net. We're going to talk about some maybe the most obnoxious fan bases when it comes to bracketology. Who do we get? Who reaches out to us and gets all over us about where their team is seated? So I think the clear winner will be a team that wears blue, and it's not Creighton. But anyway, so check it all out. That's Mock Selection Committee. Go to YouTube. It's beginning 2 o'clock Friday. It'll all be recorded. We'll have 5 total sessions. You'll see it all. And if not, you can come down here to Let It Fly. We'll have it on one of the screens here. You can grab a set of headphones and listen to the whole thing. So check it all out. Mock Selection Committee 2024 kicks off 2 p.m. Friday. So there won't be any post-game. Now, there will be a Monday Bluejay Banter show where we will kind of make that our post-game to the Marquette game. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. We'll update you on the women who will be heading into the Big East tournament at that time, and also talk about baseball, who's off to a terrific start as well. We got one more chat. Brandon goes, what's Creighton's NIL situation? Googled, and but didn't see much. Wow. Creighton has one of the better NILs in the Big East, and that's why we're getting such terrific players. Tremendous. We have, what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm blanking here for a second, but we have a whole collective set up. There's many collectives. One is with merchandise for the players. One is, they have different sports have different ones. And there's a bird club that has a collective. So there's tons of collectives. There's tons of way for you to participate in the NIL for the Creighton Blue Jays. And like I said, they have one of the better ones in the Big East. And because I remember back when Coach Huss was here, he was really got that thing going. And that's really what got us some of these players, especially when we get into the transfer portal, because that's when you're competing for the real NIL. Yeah, you are somewhat when you're recruiting, but that's when it really kicks off. So Creighton's done a great job with that. All right. Terrific show. Hope you enjoyed it with Stephen Ashworth and Coach Miller, who is always great. Check out, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button. It helps us out so much. And like I said, join us back here Friday for the Mock Selection Show, and then Monday at 6 p.m. for Bluejay Banter. Let's be loud Saturday, man. We got to have a crowd like we did for UConn, because this Marquette team is really good, and we've got to get this win. So let's be loud. Let's be proud. Go Jays.